I know that fiscal responsibility is a keen point of concern for many of our House colleagues, and I appreciate all of your vigilance on this matter. I want to yield for the moment to Mr. Schneider from Illinois in a colloquy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's markup is an important opportunity to move forward with historic legislation that truly helps working and middle-class families. While I strongly support the policies in this package, I want to discuss some of the concerns I have on its cost. I'm glad that the costs of the 2017, 2018, and 2019 extenders have been fully offset. However, the child care and earned income tax credit provisions in the Economic Mobility Act are not and cost approximately $100 billion. I recognize that as a committee, we are not bound by the same pay-go rules that apply to the House floor. That said, I and many other members of the caucus are strongly committed to fiscal responsibility and ensuring that the legislation we enact is considered with the pay for. As this committee knows, the 2017 tax bill cost trillions of dollars and did not benefit the communities, families, and children that need our help the most. I believe in addressing the needs of those communities and providing them with affordable child care and fair incentives to work, as your bill does. But I'm of the view that that can't be at the expense of the enormous deficit we've inherited. Because our growing debt is a burden that we are passing on to our children and our children's children, to the very people that this legislation is aiming to help, I'd ask for your commitment to pay for the Economic Mobility Act fully should that legislation be considered on the floor. With that commitment, I will support this bill and urge my colleagues to do the same.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider, for sharing your views on this matter. I know that those views are also shared by a number of our colleagues. The cost of this package drives home the point that the 2017 tax bill did so much on behalf of large corporations when diverting a small amount of that giveaway could have actually helped working-class taxpayers and families. The Economic Mobility Act cost about $100 billion, a fraction of the cost of our Republican colleagues' tax bill. And yet, it would expand programs that help millions of families that we know the 2017 bill left behind. The childless EITC portion of this bill helps hundreds of thousands of taxpayers in the districts of every member around this dais this morning. Throughout the process of pulling together the legislation, the Democratic committee members have discussed pay-fors. We have the fodder for a broader discussion on the House floor. I am committed to paying for the Economic Mobility Act on the floor. With this commitment, I hope that my colleagues will support the legislation, which is the biggest expansion of these programs that the Ways and Means Committee has considered in over a decade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I truly do appreciate your assurances. As I indicated, with your commitment, I will support this historic legislation today so that we can move it forward for the whole House. With that, I yield back.
And with that, I want to thank members of the